Why you must grow your business using systems. Hi, my name is Tom Rolley and welcome to today's episode. This is an interesting question because one of the traps of early stage businesses is that you don't need systems at all. That you can duct tape the business and just hustle and grind and work your way through to the results that you want. But there is a couple of disadvantages to this. Number one, eventually you are going to have to learn systems. And the reason for this is that there's just too much work for a growing business to be done by just one person. And if you don't write down the instructions and you don't have a way of tracking those instructions, then you're going to have a lot of difficulty training your team. That you might be able to pass on your ways of doing it by word, by mouth, but even that will start to break down after a while and you'll end up with the dreaded Chinese whispers of business that there is no gold standard, there's nothing written down, and so people just do their best, which is great. But it tends to come with significant risk. Things don't get done, things get missed, mistakes get made. And as your business grows, this invariably has one result, which is fires everywhere. Now, as these fires burn, this takes you away from being able to do the work of the business because you're putting out so many fires. And so you become trapped. Business becomes a hell. It is no fun. You spend your 40, 60, 80 hours more perhaps than you need to dealing with fire after fire. And remember that the problem is systems. And so while you can put out fire after fire, unless you address the root cause of it, which is your way of doing things, your way of running systems, that you will be destined to continue to put out fire after fire after fire, and they will continue to happen. Why? Because the system is creating those fires. It's just a poorly run system. It's not documented. People do their best, as I said, but people have a lot of distractions these days. People are lost in Facebook. They're thinking about other things. Like if there's not some way in your business of saying, hey, this is the work. This is how we get that result. Here's the steps that have to be taken, and here's them documented, written down, then you're going to struggle. If you do have that, suddenly you've got a couple of advantages. One, your consistency goes way up. That you and your team are now following a regular set of instructions. You're going through them and just going, yep, that got done, that got done, that got done. Additionally, if you are not getting the results that you want from this system, now you can troubleshoot it. You go through and go, okay, why did this not give the result that we wanted? Was a step missed? Or are the instructions incorrect? And if they are incorrect, then okay, what have we got to change? When did it start going off track? You can actually trace through and go, step that was on track, that was on track. Okay, look at this step here. When it's designed this way, that means this, and that's not what we want. Let's change that, and now your rest of your system will come through and give you the result that you want. The third most interesting thing perhaps is that you will now have a standard to hold your team to. You're like, hey, here's the instructions. This is the standard. This is how we do things around here. Either you follow this or you come up with a better way of getting the same results that we want, or you present and say, hey, these results are great, but we can do it better. But what is not okay is for you just to do it however you want, because that leads to the fires. That leads to the problems, the disharmony, the confusion, the stress, the drinking, the smoking, the fighting, all of that stuff, the politics comes because of a lack of systems. So it's your choice. No, at the beginning, you don't need them. It's fine. You can hustle and grind and push your way through. But eventually, if you want to realize the full dream of your business, the full expression of its idea, then you're going to need systems. What about if you can't work? What about if you chose not to work? What about if you get sick? What about if you die? That's a great question. If I die tomorrow, what will happen to my business? It's a difficult reality. But guess what? People die all the time. People die all the time. And those that have systems in place, guess what? Their business continues. Those that do not, their business dies as well. And with that is the gifts that could have come to the world from that business. You see, this isn't just about you making money or you having a Ferrari or you having a nice ski trip, whatever your worldly desires are. And yes, your well-run business will give you all of those. However, there is also a higher factor, a higher cause that your business is calling you to, that it is an expression of you, of your value, of your gifts, of your insights, of all that you are, that can transcend your very death. And yes, while this video may well persist beyond my death, if I do not have systems, then my business will not. And the same goes for you. If you know that it is essential, it is a requirement for you to get your systems on point, then head over to systemio.dev, go through the training there, and it gives you the opportunity for us to talk and look at where you are now, where you want to be, and particularly around that one question. If you died tomorrow, would your business be able to continue to run? If you have systems in place, it will. Head over there, systemio.dev. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. And I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's as we continue this journey into the power of systems to create results. See you then.